American Christmas, you son of a gun!
Almost
there. What is
Get
there?
in there.
How many shopping days left?
Not enough.
Not enough. When we were doing one of those like supply chain things, you were saying the biggest day for like buying and returns was before Christmas, and I was thinking like,
Yeah, the 19th, I think.
before I had kids for the longest time, like I would do my shopping like Christmas, like literally Christmas Eve. I'd be like that guy in line at Target. What about you?
Really?
Are you done now? But now I'm done.
Well, what I do is I do a big sprint, e-commerce shopping, get it all done, making a list, and then I forget about it.
Yeah.
And then it gets to be about the 20th, like it is right now, heading into Christmas, and I got to go boots on the ground, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Baby Yodas wherever they, may be.
Well, I bought myself an early Christmas gift. Speaking of the Baby Yoda, I got a ticket to see not the Last Jedi. That was a crappy last movie. Rise of Skywalker tonight, 6:30. I got one of those theaters too. You can pre-book your seats, and they got the recliners, a Regal Cinema.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
you are doing it.
Doing it right.
Doing it. I'll just wait for the review from you before I get a ticket.
I'm going alone.
You're
too.
a tough critic.
I'm going alone. I like going to movies alone.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's like I rarely do it, but when I do, I'm like that was really like. That was fun.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my family's already in. They already took off for the holidays. So I'm gonna meet them down there. But we had to finish up. We had to give the people the show. I got to do radio this weekend. Today we have a double album of Freight, though, so we're a little bit longer episode. You know why?
Well, yeah, because we got a lot of content,
and we won't be back until the 30th, right?
Yeah. Double albums are amazing. They're a special thing. Do you have a favorite double album? Barry Manilow's Christmas.
The Fragile, 9 Inch Nails.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. I'll have to check that out.
By the way, we got the YouTube, the LinkedIn. I'm monitoring the LinkedIn comments here.
Okay,
so guys, shout out. What are you getting for Christmas? What are you doing this year? More than happy to talk about. Let's share this out too. Here we go.
And I will be monitoring the Facebook. Let's hear from you.
Dude, is there anything you wouldn't buy online for Christmas? Because there's a story on our site about an emerging trend, and to me, I don't know, a little sacrilege.
Well, I would probably purchase just about anything other than a swimming pool, but right now it's too late. That's the thing. It's not going to come in time. It's not going to be guaranteed,
A swimming pool. See, they were saying.
What about you?
Well, they were saying the emerging trend and the most convenient thing to do is to buy a Christmas tree online. And to me, I'm not a fan.
That's an emerging trend.
I guess so. I like to go myself and pick it out and look at the goose the spruce, as they say.
Of course.
What about you?
So sacrilege.
Yeah.
Well,
all right, we got a lot of stuff to get to. Well, all right.
Okay.
Oh, wait, before we do that,
you're a little discombobulated.
Yeah,
word from our sponsor.
Little Christmas music first. All right.
Oh, there we go.
DDC FPO is the #1 preferred back office partner for transportation. Want the most robust AI data processing solution available in the market today? Of course you do. Visit ddcfpo.com or email info@ddcfpo.com and do it now. Especially you've only a few days left this year. Only a few days left. All right. Oh, this is a pretty interesting story. So Heniff Transportation and Superior Bulk Logistics are going to merge.
Whoa!
Going to merge. JP wrote an article about this back in August, but the planned merger. He was speculating on it. He said this is definitely going to happen.
Yeah, JP.
It's just a matter of time.
He should be a futurist. He should become a certified futurist.
How do you become one of those?
You take a few courses online and you can become a certified one at the Futurist Institute.
Well, okay. So the planned merger, though, could create the largest tank truck carrier in the U.S. Private equity firm Olympus Partners announced it has acquired liquid and dry bulk carrier Superior Bulk Logistics with the intention of combining the company with one of its other portfolio companies, bulk liquid carrier Heniff Transportation. Terms of the transaction, though, not disclosed yet. Heniff was provided capital from Olympus Partners and a group of lenders to fund this purchase.
Yeah, SBL operates as two separate companies, Superior Carriers, Inc., and which is a liquid and dry bulk carrier with a customer base of international chemical manufacturers, and Carry Transit, a provider of logistics services for food product companies. SBL also has a subsidiary, Supernus Global Solutions, which provides third-party brokerage and global supply chain management services. Heniff's founder and CEO, Bob Heniff, said, "We are constantly seeking ways to improve our customer service capabilities. The transaction is a perfect example of how we will continue to invest in the business to ensure we have the resources to become strategic partners with our customers." FreightWaves reported on the potential for the private equity-led merger and acquisition activity, as you said, in August.
Yeah. JP, he's got his fingers on the pulse. So the two Oak Brook, Illinois-based carriers will merge into one company at a later date. The merger aims to combine Hennef's 40 locations with 34 Superior and 21 carrier facilities to provide service in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico with a combined fleet of 2,100 tractors and 5,000 trailers. The entity will continue to offer transloading, tank washing, intermodal services. Hennef gained expertise in intermodal bulk transport of International Organization for Standards, that's the ISO, containers through its 2018 acquisition of Miller Transporters and Miller Intermodal Logistics Solutions. Hennef anticipates the combination will produce the industry leader in liquid bulk transportation, food-grade transportation, tank cleaning, rail transloading, ISO depot, and maintenance services. By the way, Justin McAfee wrote in, he said, if you haven't already, I'd love to see a review on the new trending load board, Trucker Path. Now, we haven't, and I haven't used it, but we do have a real live owner-operator who's going to be joining us in the booth later in the show. His truck actually broke down, so we're inviting him in the studio. We'll talk to him for 7 good minutes a little bit later in the show. We'll ask him if he's used that.
Yeah, it'll be a happy accident on his part and for us. Also, another headline, Ohio-based GDS Express abruptly ceases operations. Employees are still working to get stranded drivers home after fuel cards were shut off just days before Christmas. Former employees of GDS Express of Akron, Ohio, were still on the job early December 20th, working on getting approximately 4 drivers home after news broke that the carrier was shuttering operations just days before Christmas. A driver who didn't want to be named told FreightWaves today that of the 4 drivers still on the road, 2 will make it home today, and the other 2 currently have enough fuel and money to make it home in the next day or 2.
Yeah, office and driver pay is going to hit the banks today as well. That's what the GDS driver told FreightWaves. He said the operations staff is staying in touch with the drivers to ensure that all 4 drivers make it home safely. The driver said he's been told from GDS management that payroll is being prepared for next week. As of press time, no one seems to know why the company abruptly shut down and stranded some drivers with fuel cards that weren't working a week before Christmas. Mike Cady, the company's director of recruiting, he sent the following message via drivers' in-cab communication devices on December 17th, according to Trucker News. He wrote, unfortunately, through mismanagement from ownership, GDS is closing our doors.
Wow.
No punches pulled there.
They're saying it themselves.
Cowbell for honesty.
Yeah, this latest shutdown news was announced just under 2 weeks after Celadon Group announced it was filing for bankruptcy. Of course, the carrier, which had more than 2,500 drivers, left some truckers stranded without fuel in the days leading up to the bankruptcy filing on December 9th.
This was a crazy story. Rising wrestling star Matt Travis, he was struck and killed by a truck driver. On Tuesday, Luke View, 48, was charged with making an illegal left turn and striking pro wrestler Matt Travis, 25, at the foot of the Willis Avenue Bridge in New York City. View is charged with reckless driving and failure to exercise due care, light charges compared to the felony of leaving the scene of a fatal crash. The charges came with a maximum of only 30 days behind bars, where if it had been charged with the more, it would have been 7 years, I believe, right?
7 years.
Minimum. Incredibly, this is the second time in the past 2 months that DNA contracting has had a driver fatally hit someone and then flee the scene of a crime.
That's incredible.
It's like a culture there. In the first case, the driver was charged with fleeing the scene. This time, for whatever reason, not.
And the DNA contracting owner, Jim Dezow, says he fired View immediately upon learning about the accident and said he will do more to prevent such accidents from happening in the future. Dezow said, unfortunately, we had 2 events. If I can be in every truck and drive them myself, I would. But the reality of the business is we do our best to hire good guys, good, safe drivers.
Yeah. According to Streets Blog, Travis is the 28th cyclist to die on New York streets this year, up from 10 cyclists killed all of last year. The NYPD have not said why they didn't charge View with a more serious crime. I mean, maybe they have street cameras or something that is showing more to this story than there is, because it does seem a little... I don't know, man. But police issued View a desk appearance ticket. He's due back in court likely in January when the Manhattan DA will charge him.
Apparently, a lot of times drivers will just say they did not know they hit this person.
Thought it was a pothole?
And it's very difficult for prosecutors to prove.
All right.
That's some speculation as to why.
Seems a little unjust, but we'll see.
It's very unjust. It's incredible. Jury smacks California trucking company with $70.5 million and another nuclear verdict. A California jury.
Nuclear times 7.5.
Yeah, a nuclear jury awarded a Bakersfield family involved.
California jury.
I'm
A
sorry.
nuclear verdict. That's like a jury that's never broken, like a nuclear family.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's a California jury, and they awarded a Bakersfield, specifically family, involved in an August 2017 crash with the trucking company more than $70.5 million in damages just yesterday. The nuclear verdicts are described as jury awards in which penalties exceed $10 million. If you didn't know that, according to court documents, Tomasa Cuevas and her two children, Alex and Maritza, were traveling to shop for school clothes when a tractor trailer driven by Marjit Alak of RAI Transport of Bakersfield, California, allegedly ran a red light and slammed into the family's SUV on August 14th, 2017.
Well, here's the good news, though. All three survived the crash, but both Thomas Cerveza and Alex Cuevas sustained traumatic brain injuries. So not, but at least they survived. They had facial and skull fractures. Martina, she who was in the backseat suffered scratches in the crash, so very fortunate there. According to the Federal Motor Safety Administration's website, Ajit Singh Ray, doing business as Ray Transport, which operated one truck, had its authority revoked on August 10th, 2018.
Alak, the Ray truck driver, was operating with a suspended commercial driver's license and had been involved in 14 previous crashes, according to the news outlet Bakersfield.com. The law firm Rodriguez and Associates, which represented the Cuevas family, said the $70.5 million verdict is the highest personal injury verdict in Kern County history.
You know what it is time for now?
Yeah.
Let's reach out to Donna. Donna Kintop.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, Donna. It's What the Truck. It's Dooner here with Chad Prevost.
How you doing?
Hey, great. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing good. We're about to spend five good minutes with you.
Excellent. Looking forward to it.
So you are the SVP of Client Experience North America for DDC FPO. What does that mean?
Yes, sir. I am a new addition to the team. Lucky to be able to join the DDC group here in the U.S. So my task as of the end of October is to come on in and help bridge the gap to ensure that as we move forward, we're realizing some really exponential growth and just make sure that as we move forward that we continue to put our client experiences at the top of our list and our highest priority while continuing to deliver value through some innovation solutions.
Yeah, well, fantastic, Donna. There have been a lot of external forces that had, impacts on decision-making in 2019. To you, which ones were the biggest for transportation?
Oh my gosh, there was quite a few. It was certainly a very notable year. Couple that come to the top of mind, we were coming off of 2018 and, it was a drastic change. Back in 2018, I'm sure you guys remember, everyone had more freight than they knew what to do with.
Yes.
And in 2019, we saw a little bit of a softening in the market. So, all of the carriers were kind of busy trying to figure out how to balance the capacity against the volume, and that would be an ongoing challenge as we move forward. One of the things we also, continue to experience was, effects of this driver shortage that has been ongoing for a couple of years. I think we saw some good strides this year in the way that companies have become much more driver-centric. They're working to upgrade wages and benefits, and really meet the work-life balance requirements of the driver population. So I think we saw some strides there.
How do you think these will play out over the next year?
Oh, I think it's definitely headed in the right direction. We need to find a way to make these roles more appealing to a younger generation. And I think a lot of time and money and thought is being invested into this area. So better profiling, better benefits, making sure that drivers that want to stay local, those that love a long haul, get that opportunity as well. So I think we'll continue to see some positive change and progress there.
Well, for let's say for carriers and 3PLs, like what can they expect as we should, what should be keeping in mind as we head into the first quarter of 2020?
Well, I think there's still a couple of things. We're looking at, exponential growth in the e-commerce market. So I think people are still trying to figure out the best way to handle that. The growing strength of Amazon is clearly something that a number of carriers are focused on as Amazon continues to build their own logistics fleet and moves away from some of the carriers. As Richard Greening, my colleague, mentioned just a couple of weeks ago on this very show, there's definitely been an increase in momentum, to adopt some new technologies. And I think, that's moving forward at record speed. But I think organizations now are not only looking at what technologies they can adopt, but the most practical way to adopt those. They need to make sure that whatever they do moving forward continues to drive customer experience, which will help retention, and also look at, cost containment and process efficiencies. I think we're going to continue to see, a deepening of the usage of big data. Everyone utilizing, TMS systems, warehouse management systems, our CRM systems, along with the new technologies that are in development. They'll be able to take that data and utilize it and analyze it and be able to plan, much more closely going forward. Forecasting will be more accurate. It'll give them, faster alerts to make sure that if something is changing or going wrong, they have an opportunity to fix it. I think our elections coming up this year are proved to be a little bit interesting in this industry.
Yeah.
We certainly can.
Tend to be disruptive.
We can't afford.
A lot going on there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to open that can, but there's just a lot going in. Yeah.
Oh gosh, no, we're not going to open that can on this show. But suffice it to say, it's definitely going to have an impact. And along with some of the trade wars that are ongoing, it's just going to be a matter of time, as people adapt to that and figure out the best strategy. And then we can't forget our friends in the 3PL market. These 3PL companies are still continuing to experience exponential growth. They're great partners. They're surviving and thriving because of their ability to adopt new technologies and their willingness to try and really focus on that customer experience and make it as innovative and comfortable as possible.
Donna,
so I think we've got some cool stuff coming up.
Yeah, Donna, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. We hope you have a happy holidays. Are you coming in Monday?
No, I'm not coming in Monday.
Me either.
Fantastic.
But thanks.
Thank you very much.
Great to talk to you guys.
Thank you. Have a great holiday and a happy New Year.
It was my pleasure. Thank you. Same to you.
Okay, take it easy. Bye.
All right.
Good insights.
Good stuff, yeah. We get to hear from all corners of the world, but now we get to hear from one of our inside members. It is With Sonars, Tommy Haigu.
Tommy, welcome.
Come on down. Man, you were so festive on that first episode. Was that your first or your second? Your second episode of With Sonar. I'll let you pull up here. I'll give you your little...
On the Radar, presented by Sonar.
How you doing, man?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited to be here.
You are a Kennesaw State owl? Kennesaw, am I saying that right?
Screeching owls, yeah.
Screeching owls.
Kennesaw, man.
Make the noise. Make the noise. Love the mic. Talking to the mic.
Love the mic. I don't know that I can do the screeching owl noise, but
okay. Well, what were they? Well, prior to coming here, you worked for a smart home company, right?
I did. Yeah, we sold smart technology for innovating your business or your home. But I've got a little experience in both logistics and SaaS, so FreightWaves is just a perfect fit for me. So I'm excited to be here.
What's cool in the smart home space?
So just centralizing all of your technologies into a centralized location and being able to control
like your
it all
house.
from the smartphone.
Like having like a brain in the house.
Yeah, have a brain in the home.
Yeah, my brother had one of those, but he could never, if one thing went wrong, you had to figure out the entire brain.
I'm going to hack your freaking house, dude.
You could try.
All right, Tommy, what is With Sonar? There used to be a show called The Night Shift, right?
Right.
And now it has been set on fire and reborn from the ashes like a phoenix, as
absolutely.
With Sonar with the hashtag in front of it.
Yes. So With Sonar is a show solely dedicated to helping our current customers as well as future customers learn a little bit more about sonar. We dive deep into specific proprietary indexes that we have that are only available through that platform so that you can use the data to start making better, more informed decisions about your day-to-day operations. And we really try to focus from different segments throughout the industry. So it's not just brokerage or trucking, but we'll talk about how shippers and even financial institutions can utilize this platform to make more just increased performance decisions around the freight markets.
Well, what's new with Sonar right now?
Yeah.
So a lot of great things continuing to evolve in Sonar. We had a lot of fantastic updates released with our 5.0 launch at FreightWaves live in Chicago, and so we just covered our predictive rating tool on our last week's episode, and going to take a couple of weeks off for Christmas and the New Year, but we'll be back talking about a lot of other new features. One of which we'll be covering is our weighted rejection index, which has been a phenomenal way to really see emerging markets and focus on how to manage load boards from a brokerage perspective or carrier perspective early on in the day, so that we've all ran into that situation as former brokers like myself, where someone calls in early on during the day on kind of a hot market, and you don't take that high rate early on in the day, but later on, when it's 4 p.m. and it's still on your board, you kind of get screwed, because that's when you really got to shell it out, because you can't get it covered.
Last date in the bar. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We had a Christmas party last night. Were you the last man standing?
No, so I actually got to bring my wife so she went home with me.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's good. That was good. That worked.
I have to say, you were wearing one heck of an ugly sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
very nice work.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
He tried to pull that joke on everybody, and I don't know. It might have burned him a little bit at one point in the night.
Like some people were more ugly than others.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
You weren't even wearing a sweater. You
I
didn't
was
even
too.
dress up
I was
at
wearing
all.
my Titan sweater.
Oh, you're right. You're
ugly.
okay. All right. Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
You think they're going to make the playoffs?
No.
Playoffs?
I don't.
I mean, they're still in the running. Where are you? So, are you from Tennessee?
I am from Tennessee. Well, North Georgia, right across the state line. But I claim Chattanooga because I could throw rocks at it from my house.
Oh.
Up, so,
you're a Titans fan?
I am not a huge NFL guy. I enjoy fantasy football and gambling, so I could really root for any team.
Yeah. What'd you ask for Christmas?
What did I ask for Christmas? Well,
a rate predictor in Sonar, right?
Rate predictor in Sonar.
What's good in the rate predictor?
So right now it's solely focused on van rates, but it's giving you an actual predictive tool for not only just your transactional freight on a day-to-day, but also it's the first tool that's been able to look ahead weeks, months, and even out to a year in advance to see what the market conditions are actually saying that these rates are going to be, instead of using just your feeling or your sentiment about what you think the market rates are based off of historical performance. You can see daily changes, weekly, monthly changes that actually affect that market and what's going on right now that's making the difference.
Tommy, how do people tune into With Sonar and learn more?
So watch us on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. We go live on LinkedIn and Facebook. You can also download us on the FreightWaves TV app.
Well, download the app. Don't download you.
Download me.
Download the app, and then you can watch it at any time you like. You wouldn't download a car, would you? All right. Get out of here, Tommy. Thank you for joining us. Have a happy holiday.
Yes.
All right. We talked to someone south of our border here in Tennessee. Now it's time to talk to someone north of the border, way north, Canadian north. The kind of place you need a passport to get to.
Yeah, it's T-bag time.
Talking about stamps in the passport, too. One of the things we're going to talk to him about is he's gone to, like, war zones, man. The Balkans, Kosovo. Sit down, sir. Put your headphones on.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right, guys.
It's T-Bag time.
Hey?
I would have preferred some Rush.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wow, he runs a tight ship. Asking for a lot. No, I thought T-Bag time was pretty fun.
No,
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Payback time is how we bring it to you.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it.
All right, so I mentioned you have a lot of stamps in the passport, Nate Tayback. You're our north of the border Canadian reporter. You cover a lot of hard-hitting stories out there. But before you did that, you were in Kosovo in the Balkans?
I was indeed.
Why? What compelled you to go there?
I have a little bit of heritage in Slovenia, and I had an interest in it, and I visited there as a college student, and then decided I wanted to come back there and report and tell.
Talk a little closer into the
And
mic.
and then you did a TED Talk talking about
about how to, telling stories there, of sort of talking to people who otherwise don't really, get heard from. And that's actually it's one of the reasons why I really love covering trucking, because you get to just you speak to a lot of people out there that just normally they're kind of forgotten about, and they have a lot of really interesting things to say.
Wow.
Speaking
What an
of-
interesting perspective.
Yeah. You did a stinky story on cheese, right? About cheese smugglers. What is the old cheese smuggler? So when I worked for A.M. Deringer, we did a lot of border operation stuff, right? And I was in, whenever you go to St. Albans, you'd see a lot of Canadians, like they would look like they're wearing those sumo suits because they would put a lot of clothes on. They would buy clothes, and then they would put their coats and their pants over it, and they would smuggle clothes across the border. But this was a much bigger operation with a lot of holes in it. Give us a Swiss cheese.
Yeah, there's
Not Joe cheese, apparently.
just first of all, cheese smuggling is a thing in Canada. It's a thing, and
Those monsters.
it's a a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous. But it basically comes down to dairy products, like a lot of things in Canada, are more expensive.
Gas too.
Gas,
And they sell by the liter. The liter, Chad.
Yeah.
Who buys a liter of gas?
I don't know.
You do, 'cause you got that hybrid car.
Whatever's Gouda with you.
Oh.
excellent.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, it's a funny thing because you get back in May we had a trucker caught coming in from somewhere in northern New York into Ontario with about almost 9,000 pounds of cheese, and he was fined $30,000, and there's such a huge price differential, and because you have this system to basically constrain supply, keep prices high. But that's changing a little bit.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, we got to.
So do you? I assume you don't like that system.
I do. I really like cheese, and
Oh, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of people like cheese, and that it's.
You know what they say? If you drink provolone, you might have a problem.
Yeah, no, that is something you
They
might
do?
want to see
I
a
don't
doctor for that. But you got an agreement with the EU that's been coming into force, bringing in more cheese, and also USMCA, more American cheese coming in, and it's a very controversial and sensitive issue in Canada because dairy farmers they're worried about being overrun.
What does a cheese smuggler look like? So if Chad, like in case Chad and I run into one, do they look like me and you?
They look like me and you. And
Oh, wow.
It's a scary thing. We're very
So
concerned about.
they are among us.
They are among us.
Okay.
They
What
could
is
be anyone.
what is the punishment for smuggling cheese?
I mean, low level, maybe a fine. I
Yeah.
mean, individual people who do it, kind of like what you're talking about. Most likely, they're not going to get into too much trouble, but it's usually a fine. But there are large scale schemes that have resulted in prison time. One involved a cop. So it can get pretty serious.
Yeah. Don't feta your life on it.
Exactly.
Well,
All right, well-
you're winning on the puns. It certainly is good to breathe with you.
It is, and I would be a little bit blue if we weren't going to address this topic. So
A little blue
Wow.
cheese.
a little blue, yeah.
Yeah.
This has been
All right.
great.
So a big story, speaking of blue, a big story was the Celadon closure, right? And then their sister company up in Canada is Heinemann.
Heinemann Transport.
What is up with that? Because now you're on that beat, you little
Yeah.
Peter Parker, you.
Yeah, it's sort of a strange situation right now because one of the things we're looking at is Heinemann is not bankrupt in Canada right now, and the implications of that are actually not so good for any former employees because it makes it harder for them to basically claim any sort of back pay, things like that, and it's not clear why, but it's as if they're bankrupt in the U.S. under Chapter 11, but in Canada it hasn't happened yet.
Wow.
And
I'm not sure if I should be cheering for a bankruptcy or not.
if you're working for if you're someone who worked for Heinemann, a bankruptcy in Canada is actually good because former employees actually have a preferential standing in any bankruptcy proceedings, and there are also federal programs that will compensate people, and so I was actually just told by a legal expert in employment law that anyone who worked for them come together, get a lawyer,
Come together, get a lawyer right now.
exactly, and it's
Over
just tough.
me.
Yeah, it's
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
and
What's your dream story?
my dream story.
Yeah.
I'd love to get onto the ice roads.
Oh, wow.
Ice
Yeah.
road truckers?
Yes.
Like Yukon territory.
Yeah, I mean, the stories I love is where you're there and you get to be there with the people and just sort of experience.
You want to be in the cab with the ice
yeah,
road?
absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Maybe my wife wouldn't be that.
Yeah,
Put her in the
you might
sleeper.
need some hazard pay.
Yeah.
But it's I just when you're up close and you smell it, you feel it. I think it's always an absolute gift when you can kind of get into someone else's world and then tell
Wow.
people about it.
Well, Nate, it's time for you to go on your way, but another fun.
Way.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
All right. All right. But how do people reach out and learn more?
Well, I'm on Twitter.
Yes.
Nate Tabak. We got FreightWaves. We got our Canada page. Yeah, we're there.
Well,
I'm there.
Well,
All
thank
right.
you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks for joining us, man.
Not
Okay.
cheesy
Merci
at all.
beaucoup.
Very
Take it
good
easy.
stuff.
All right, now we have to call Darren Hansen from JJ Keller and Associates. He's their one of their senior transport safety editors. We're going to learn all about the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse, which it turns out, Chad, that's not like a sweepstakes. You don't get a big check at the end. I think you lose your check.
Thanks for the clarification.
Always. All right, this one has an extension. So, I don't know. Didn't even go through.
Uh-oh.
2848. Is that right? 920-727. Oh, I shouldn't say his number out loud. Let's see.
Well, I'm sure that he will be happy to get back with us.
Yeah, that's what happens when you
give
go
us
live. Technical, I don't know.
The insights on, the purposes and the impact of the drug and alcohol clearinghouse, not the sweepstakes. We've learned that much. So, we'll just, we'll follow up with him after he won't be on the double album of Freight.
Well, maybe he will. I'm gonna
try
hit
it?
our producer right now to see if we can get
Okay.
confirmation on there. But in the meantime, I'm gonna pull someone in here really quick. No, Anthony Smith first. We need Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith first.
Anthony,
We need you to come in alone. We need you to come in
here
here
for
real
me.
quick. All right. We had a call, but it turned out the number was busy. So we need you to tell us what the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse is. Are you ready?
No.
Okay. All right. What can you tell us about? What is up with Freightonomics? What did you guys talk about this week?
We talked about everything with freight and everything with economics.
Yeah, I saw the title was that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, Zach is trying to pull me into the whole Die Hard Christmas movie debate.
Yeah.
I'm not falling for it. I've never seen Die Hard.
Yeah.
I'll admit it.
You've never seen Die Hard?
I've never seen it. I
Well,
looked
rent
at
it
the
tonight.
cover.
Yeah.
I thought about renting. I looked at the cover. I was not interested at all.
Okay.
So you're not an action adventure type of guy?
Horror movies.
Oh,
So you're
all right. Which one? Are you like Scream, sort of like post slasher?
I don't
like old fashioned slasher, like 80s style slasher?
I don't like the gory and stuff and like that's overdone, but more something like
Ghost movie?
a good paranormal.
Yeah.
paranormal
Die
ghost
Hard
movie.
actually is a legit action adventure
Yeah.
movie. Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe not. It takes place during Christmas. But like, I don't know. Gremlins Christmas movie. For
Yeah.
sure. Zach was saying it isn't, but Gizmo was a present on Christmas. How much more premise building do you have to be? I don't know. You're the story writer. Does Gremlins qualify?
Sure.
All right.
That's fantastic. There you have it.
What's going on in the world of freight? Let's give something of value.
Yeah. So one of the things I spoke about today was housing starts making a comeback.
Ooh.
Um,
What's a housing start for people who don't know?
so it's when home construction is breaking ground. So we're looking at overall U.S. housing starts doing very well now.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Chad, I remember you used to talk about it early on in the year.
Yeah, on FreightWaves now with
It was
you.
struggling, but now starting to pick up. Like 5 out of the last 6 months for a single family housing starts. So that's picked up a lot at the year end. We're seeing double-digit growth, and so that has implications for flatbed construction. Trailers, but it also has implications for dry van down the line when people are filling up with furniture and appliances and all that good stuff. So
Do you consider it an early economic indicator?
it's somewhat of a consistent to leading indicator because a lot of times, sometimes there's supply side issues that are not really showing the true demand. But when conditions are good, housing's doing good usually.
That's one of your favorite points to look at in terms of economic health.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
You like to look at a lot of indexes, right? Zach tells you that he doesn't like those because they're
He doesn't like feelings.
subjective.
Yeah, he doesn't like sentiment or consumer confidence.
But they do reflect a real reality. What's
Yes.
another big indicator that you like to go? Of course, I'm going to take out the easy one.
Okay.
It's consumer spending, which we're doing a lot of right now, right?
Yeah.
2/3 of all of
A big part of the
the
economy.
GDP
Yeah.
is about consumer
Yeah.
spending. Okay.
Okay.
What's another one?
So without the consumer spending. Another good one. I'll give you one on the other side, the manufacturing side.
Okay.
Non-defense capital goods new orders, excluding aircrafts.
Whoa.
So it's a mouthful. But
Yeah.
when you're looking at non-defense capital goods new orders, it's really going to tell you a lot about business outlook, how confident they're feeling about investing right now, and what their operations are looking like on production coming down the line.
Wow. That
Business
is
to
a
business
that-
activity.
Now that's going deep, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
niche.
Yeah.
That's
To get deep into that, but deep but in an accessible way.
Yes.
To get in that pool, listen to Freightonomics. Anthony Smith, who's sometimes a co-host on radio too.
Every once
Not
in a while.
this weekend, but every once in a while.
Yeah.
Today's a double album of Freight for Christmas, and you did like a 2 week. You did a back to back. You did
Yes.
a double header.
I will cancel my travel plans for you.
Whenever there's an opportunity to go on Sirius.
Yes.
You're
XM's
also a
Road Dog
lumber,
Trucking 3 to 5
right? You're a
p.m. channel
lumber
146.
expert.
Lumber?
What?
Yeah, he does a little bit of lumber.
Back in my heyday.
Do you get
back in
into
my
it?
day.
Do you do immersive, like, do you like crunch numbers in the middle of the woods? Like Arlen last night, where he won his
Numbers on
Heisman, and
lumber?
it was like the Blair Witch Project. You're talking about horror movies,
That was
right? It was
talking
like,
about horror, yeah,
The
yeah.
Blair Witch Project is the first movie that I saw by myself when my wife was out of town. That man, talk
What
about-
a pick.
oh,
what an experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
What? You've been married a long time.
That's right.
That was like
Yeah.
1999.
That's right. That's the year I was
20
married.
years, so 20-year anniversary. Congratulations.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, man.
Yes.
So you slacked me this morning and you said,
Yes.
hey, do you have a space on What the Truck? And I was like, why? What's going on?
Very special person.
What is going on? Your cousin?
My cousin's in town.
Yeah.
He's a driver, so he's in the trenches.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy because it's like, who would have thought that two kids from Brooklyn would have both ended up in the logistics industry?
My dad's from Brooklyn,
And-
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we are in Chattanooga.
I know. Crazy.
How do you say Brooklyn
small
if you're
place.
from Brooklyn?
Uh,
How do you say?
Yeah, I mean, you might have a guy who'd be like Brooklyn, you know?
I try to mask any kind of accent, but I just say
Yeah.
Brooklyn. I just say Brooklyn. Bed-Stuy.
Yeah, most people just break Brooklyn.
Bed-Stuy. I try to.
Hell's Kitchen.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. From
I don't think it
from the
holds
block.
that much weight
Like
anymore.
you could say the block.
The blah. The blah.
I don't think
All
it holds much weight anymore. There's cupcake shops and dog walkers.
Yeah.
and all that, so.
Brooklyn's
All right.
like a nice little bedroom
Yeah,
community.
it is.
All right.
I
Send,
like-
send
I
your
like- I like
cousin's
Brooklyn.
waited a long time.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
send him in
Okay.
here.
All right.
So he is, what is his name? Ryan?
Chris
Ryan.
Bryant.
Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
And
I'll go
no
get him.
relation to Kobe, relation to you.
Relation to me.
Okay. All right, let's send him on in.
Right. Bring in
Mr. Chris Bryant. Come on, man.
Hey, what's happening?
Jump on in, throw some cans in. We heard you had a little bit of a breakdown.
You wanna?
Here, throw on the headphones,
Yeah.
man, and love the mic. Talk into the mic, man.
All right, we got me.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear now, man.
All right, dude, so what was happening? You're just driving the truck around and
Driving the truck around, and I lost oil pressure, and he locked up on me.
yeah, whereabouts?
I was climbing Mount Eagle,
Okay.
about
Oh,
32 pounds of aluminum on my back.
so how did you have to take the emergency ramp thing, or did you?
Well, I just pulled off to the side of the road and
Yeah.
put my flashes on and called the cavalry.
Okay, so right now, like real time, what's happening with your truck? Is it getting?
It's getting hooked up again and go to another shop to get it worked on again. And
Wow.
So, but this is yours, right? You're not a company
I'm
driver.
my own
You're an
operator.
OO.
Yeah, I gotta absorb all the costs for it. And
Yeah. How long you been doing it?
about 7 years.
Yeah. Has this year been tougher as an independent guy than last year? We always talk about those conditions.
Yeah, I want to say as an independent operator, I want to say my best years was about 17 and spring of 18.
Wow.
Yeah, and this year, the way freight's been moving, it plummeted.
Yeah.
Revenue has dramatically gone down.
Yeah. Like, what are you getting per mile now?
Whereas
All
I was
depends.
getting about maybe 260 a mile, 280 a mile. Now it's down to 185,
Yeah.
maybe 210.
How do you account for stuff like that? Like, I used to do like blogging and podcasting on the freelance side, and I always had like anxiety because you never knew like if the numbers were going to meet at the end of the month. And I imagine for you it can be similar, but like my revenue would never get slashed. Like I would get $500 for one project, and then it would be like $200. Where you guys are really susceptible to markets.
Well, when you gotta face a dramatic change in per mile, you want to either go shorter distances for the same rate,
Yeah.
or get a bigger rate and go longer distances. So it's all a toss up. So if you can go a longer distance and get a higher rate per mile, then you can let up off the pedal and decrease your cost on the outbound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you start as an owner operator, or did
Oh,
you?
no.
Okay, so you.
I kind of segued my way into the trucking industry. I didn't even plan on being a truck driver, honestly. So I started out as a company driver. I was hauling pallets for about 2 years.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
then I decided, hey, I want to go out there. And I drove for a company for about 1.5 years. And then here I am, owner operator.
Made a business decision. You know, what we do a lot of data and analysis, and we recently released a white paper where the research team, they really analyzed, do you save money and really get there in just about the same amount of time if you cut your speed from 75 to 65 miles an hour? And their conclusion was that, yes, you will significantly save costs at the bottom line. Do you experiment with anything like that? Have you?
Oh, like that type of optimization?
Well,
Yeah.
to answer that, I can attest to both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Oh.
So speeding, theoretically, in the mental, you think you're getting there faster. But if you're going about 70, 68 miles an hour, you're going to get there the same amount of time. I mean, someone has to significantly be going faster than you to get somewhere faster than you.
Right. For
Yeah.
a long period
Because
of time.
I travel down the road at average. If the speed limit's 70, I'm going 70.
Right.
On cruise control. You save fuel that way. And you got these guys that blow by you going 75, 80, but they get stopped at traffic and you're meeting them you're right at their back door.
Making crazy risky moves to
Right.
just barely get in front of you, too.
Just to make 30 seconds of time.
Have you had any close calls with that? People just like pulling it, and you're like, man, that guy was this close to me, just running right over him.
Yeah. Just here about 2 weeks ago, I was in Illinois, coming down 55, merging on the I-80. And I'm merging onto I-80, and the guy wasn't even paying attention. He's going about 45 miles an hour getting off the highway. So I'm just like, all you had to do was look ahead, and you would have seen oncoming traffic. But these guys, they're running the wait. They hurry up and wait.
Who wins that battle,
Yeah.
sedan or semi?
All right.
I'm thinking semi. By the way,
Well,
so
it
when you
depends on the nuclear verdict later on.
Right. No, I know. In the 9 months I've been here, I've met Anthony. We both started around the same time. I know him really well, and I know if I want Sour Patch Kids, his desk is the place to go to. So my
Right.
question: are you as addicted to Sour Patch Kids as him? You got a big bag in the truck?
Nah, I try to stay away from candy. I eat a lot of pistachios and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you do things like he's got that wrist thing that he does, like to keep his wrists strong and flexible? Do you do anything like
the
that
crazy
when you're in the
yo-yo.
cab?
Yeah,
got
I
yo-yos
shift
too.
gears.
Yeah. Oh,
Fair enough.
All right,
That
so-
is true.
hey, I believe you have a family too, right? You have a
Right,
couple
yeah.
kids.
2 kids.
Yeah. You coming back if your truck gets fixed? Are you coming back home for the holidays?
Well, yeah, I'll be home for the holidays.
Okay.
Definitely. That's not an option.
Yeah.
So,
Is money better during that time? Because sometimes I think it might be the company drivers who get the bonuses, but a lot of them are like, no. Like I do road dog trucking, so a lot of drivers call in on Saturdays and they're like, well, it's $2,000 bonus, so yeah, I'm working through the holidays. I won't be back
Right.
until next year to see the family.
yeah, well, so the owner-operated thing is everything. Your bonus is what you save.
Yeah.
So, we don't get the perks of a company driver. So you just have to nest up and treat yourself during the holidays.
Mm.
Nice.
But,
I'm sure that makes your wife happy to hear.
right.
Yeah, is it hard? I assume it's tough on the road away from your family.
Yeah, it's always tough.
Yeah.
And I try to maximize my profit within a week so I can be home on the weekends. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I try not to
Yeah.
stay out too late.
Wow.
Right.
Right.
Well,
So-
that is great, man. Good.
What's your
good.
outlook for next year? Like what kind of loads do you want to be pulling? What kind of money do you? I mean, obviously you want to be making that
Right.
280 again, but
Right.
where's the money at right now? What kind of loads?
It's so
It's at
up and
aluminum
down.
right now, right?
Yeah, aluminum has always been high. You never really seen aluminum drop. You've seen steel drop, but aluminum stays pretty consistent. Machinery is starting to climb back up.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to stay geared towards. Press machines, farm machinery, construction, vehicles, things
Yeah.
of that nature.
Well, if someone wants to book a load with you, how do they get in touch with your trucking company?
Oh, they can just contact C&W Trucking and Sons and request me.
CNW Trucking and Sons.
CNW.
You guys have a website or anything?
Yep.
All right, is it cnwtruckingandsons.com?
Yep.
All right, perfect stuff. Well, hopefully your truck gets fixed soon enough. If not, you could spend Christmas with your cousin.
Oh, I'm getting back on the road. I'll be on the road today.
So are you up in Brooklyn? Is that where you live now?
No, I live in North Carolina.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to have you on.
Yeah.
We're honored.
All right.
Chris.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Chris, thank you for coming in.
Yes.
All right.
Nice to meet you in person. Another fantastic dude. That it runs in the family.
Yep,
Yeah.
you guys will see
Yeah.
more of me.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, don't be a
Great.
stranger.
Okay, man.
Anytime he's passing through. Old 75 over there.
I wonder if he has the same vertical as Anthony.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of movies that that's like the old-fashioned premise where like your truck or your car breaks down, you're stuck in a one-man town,
Yeah.
End up in a horror movie. All right, Emily says that we
One stoplight
should
down.
Emily says that we should try the number again. So
Okay.
Emily Zink said that he may be back at his desk. Let's give this gentleman Darren Hansen another try. Because I do want to hear about this drug and alcohol clearinghouse. Let's see here. No. All right. Well, then.
First, you don't succeed. Well,
try
again.
Don't try again. All right. Well, try them maybe after the next segment. Then.
Indeed.
Yeah. Who's up
Okay.
next? Were we doing a little earnings over
I am
under?
supposed to play earnings over under with Kevin King of The Hill.
Is he out there?
Where's Kevin King of The Hill? Come on, King
Kevin
of the
Hill.
You know what, like playing Kevin Hill in earnings over under is like.
Fighting Mike Tyson in Punch Out?
Well, yeah, it's like playing tennis against a wall.
Okay.
He knows all the answers. Like, all I can do is
stonewalling you. Mm-hmm.
But here, I'm going to do my best.
But we'll see.
Man, ever since I beat him the first time, he has been like, it's like playing tennis against a wall.
We promised people we were going to talk about this drug and alcohol clearinghouse, and we just cannot get this guy, Darren Hansen, on the line.
Oh, the clearinghouse?
Yeah, you know anything about that?
I know it starts January 1st, maybe?
Yeah, 6th, I think.
January 6th?
I think it's the 6th. It might be the 1st.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Epiphany.
the 6th. That's why I wanted to talk to him.
It starts a blank database, and it gets built over time, so the real question on everyone's mind is
he said it was like
how
a
quickly.
Sweepstakes, and you got a big check.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
McMahon?
I thought I was in the running.
So would you get the check if you passed or you failed the whiz quiz?
You have to pass. You have to pass. Yeah, that's my understanding.
We should have asked him. We should have asked the driver about that if he's what his opinion is on the drug and alcohol clearinghouse. Because some people say like they don't like the intrusion, but other people say it's actually good. Any type of disruption like that is because it'll pull a lot of bad drivers off the road, and then it'll constrain capacity, meaning he can get. So he was saying he was at $2.80 a mile in 2017, and now he's down to like $1.80.
Yeah, so it's actually good for them to restrict capacity, get the bad drivers off the road, and the rates will go up.
Right. For owner operators, there is no driver shortage.
Should we try Darren one more time?
Okay.
It's not gonna. She'll have. All right. Maybe I'll ask Emily to connect with him, and if she can get through, let us know.
I wonder if our viewers think we're doing this
We'll
on purpose.
try. No, we want. Do you guys want to know about the drug and alcohol clearinghouse, or should we just move on with our lives?
We can always come back to it after I leave.
Yeah. Or if
we're holding up precious time. Kevin is ready to do earnings over.
I am.
That's what he's here for. That's
earnings over and under.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get to that. That's terrific radio. All right. Moving on to the next thing. So earnings over under. Some interesting earnings this week. I try to give you guys a nice mix because we don't have all. Oh, what are you trying to do, Lear over here?
Well, both of you guys have it up. So I
have.
Oh, he wouldn't know it. He doesn't have the answers over there.
Oh, but you do.
Yes.
I mean, it's right in my face.
Well, do you guys? I have to have the answers.
I'll just sit here and look at Chad.
All right, Chad.
So I don't cheat.
Chad's the loser, so Chad will go first. All right, Chad. FedEx. $2.79 over under earnings per share. This is the game where we talk about the estimated earnings per share and how they came out, and we'll break down each one of these just a little bit for you people out there.
So, Chad, what do you think?
FedEx. $2.79.
Come on.
Chad.
Under.
Okay.
Yeah, under. Definitely.
Okay. It was. Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes. You guys should know that one. It was under.
Yeah,
251. Right? The second quarter, they said, was ugly across the board. Mm-hmm. Revenue came in at $17.3 billion, which was $500 million below the fiscal 2019 first quarter level. Operating income of $684 million was about half year earlier levels, or about $300 million less than analysts expected. So not good. FedEx will cut 6 to 8% of its global flight hours. A lot of stuff going on here, man. It's a tough year for them. Even their CFO, Alan B. Graff Jr., he said, we have reached the bottom.
Do you think they have?
Well, I don't know, but do a lot of CFOs say that during their earnings calls? They're usually like market conditions.
Say, great quarter, guys, right?
Great quarter, guys.
Market conditions just led to this.
Well,
so they're saying that they are at their bottom?
That's what they're saying, yeah. They said we've reached the bottom. I guess that's
so.
Kind of a good thing, though, right? You're like, look, all right, I know it was bad, but
it can't get any worse from here.
We're going into rehab.
Good.
We're taking the supply chain into rehab, and
you'd win at limbo.
Yeah. So what do you think, though? So what led to these market conditions? Amazon was a big one, right?
Well, Amazon was, and I saw a report somewhere where their FedEx's deliverability rates were down in the 75%. Right, 75% on-time delivery. I think
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
On-time
And
delivery
that ain't gonna
was
cut the
around
mustard.
70. Yeah, so they
Yeah.
pulled.
They pulled,
basically, they pulled all Prime shipping with FedEx.
Yeah.
Gotta be 98 or above.
But what they did, that report also said that and UPS was doing better, but they still weren't doing all that great. I think
Yeah.
they were in the 80s, low 80%, and they're saying they might be struggling with all the order flow coming in from FedEx.
Interesting stuff. Okay, here's the next
you
one.
heard it here.
Here's the next one. Navistar International. Navistar International, for people who don't know, is an American holding company, right? That owns and manufactures international brand commercial trucks, IC school buses and commercial buses. Most people would know this one, the Workhorse brand chassis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Hill, 96 cents.
Over.
Okay.
Under.
You are wrong. Navistar International Corp reported it was $1.02. Navistar
Didn't
International.
they have are they the one that had a lot of recalls?
Well, so this is interesting. So this is sometimes people will beat estimates, but it still won't be good for the stock. And I think Navistar was one of those where it was down. So Navistar International Corp reported better than expected earnings for its fourth quarter, but said it is reducing its worldwide workforce 10%, cutting 1,300 jobs. And a federal judge unsealed a 6-year-old whistleblower suit against Navistar Defense LLC and Navistar International Corp that seeks at least $1.28 billion in damages over allegedly forging invoices. Remember Celadon?
Oh, yeah.
Forging invoices for vehicles and components. What do you think this blows up?
It could. The Celadon, those truck trades were Navistar trucks, the 2012 Max.
Right.
Were they?
Maybe. Yeah,
the
they
plot
were.
thickens.
I believe so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were. So those were the same trucks that had the mechanical issues that dropped in value, well below book value, that got Celadon in trouble back in 2016.
Wow.
The model was a 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
I think it was Max Force or Max.
It was
something or
Max
another.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember. Exactly
Anything
the
with
truck.
Max, don't believe the hype. Right?
True.
Like the Boeing Max.
True.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe
so
Nike Air Max.
I said I'm really mixing it up.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nike. 58 cents.
Over.
You didn't even know. You didn't even know it was going to be Nike. You segued me in perfect.
I know, right?
All right,
I
so
was
58 cents. And he says over.
under.
Oh. Yes. 70 cents. It was 70 cents over.
Wow.
Actually, their
Shipping along.
CEO Mark Parker said, "I have never been more optimistic about the future of this company," which is kind of funny because he's not going to be the CEO next year.
Oh, really?
He's
never been more
Retiring or?
They're just transferring leadership over to another guy, if I understand correctly. But here's what happened, though. Great year. Sales in North America overall still came up short, but they climbed 5.3% globally during the period, reaching $3.98 billion. Analysts were calling for $4 billion in sales, though. So it's one of those ones that is over, but not maybe enough. But Nike said that they blame tariffs for higher production prices, which cut into that, weighed into profitability. And they said, look, the Jordan brand is now worth $1 billion.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. And so they're pulling their stock from Amazon.
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
because
so
is counterfeiting?
Counterfeiting and pricing.
Yeah.
So they're taking more control over their e-commerce channel.
Yeah.
Which is feeding into basically their earnings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are people getting wise to Amazon? Are they starting to be like, what?
Amazon's getting some
You know what?
problems.
I think they are. I think there's some issues, right? Because you really Amazon's really competing with their third
In a
party
lot of
sellers
spaces.
in a lot of spaces, and it is it's problematic.
Wisoff Knives, they pulled out a long time ago from Amazon because they were like, you guys are even more demanding than Walmart. And Walmart has some stringent demands with chargebacks and the way things have to be. And I know Amazon does with labeling, like when you're sending boxes to them, especially for FBA. But it seems like Amazon, and people are starting to get wise to this, but they realize that the profitability, like retail is just the Trojan horse, selling the goods. The real money is in doing this fulfillment and the logistics behind it now and getting more information on people's supply chains and using all this data and optimizing. And it's amazing how much information they have on everybody, and me included. And I love Amazon as a consumer. I say this every time. I love it as a consumer. But if I was a logistics person or doing a 3PL, like I would be, or a shipper, I would be really trepidatious. But at the same time, they have the Death Star. They're the retail Death Star. If you don't have your stuff in there, if you're Nike,
it's true. Like I have the experience. I was a book publisher for about 7 years, And you couldn't not be in Amazon, but you couldn't be in Amazon because they automatically, for every sale that you would make, they took 55% of the profit. Like that right off the bat, you got 55. You've got to ship it there. You've got to produce the product. You have to accept returns.
Mm-hmm.
You're losing money often, depending on how much it cost you to produce the book. It's an insane value proposition, but you don't exist if you're not on Amazon.
Well, I mean, unless you're Nike, and you have a billion-dollar brand like Jordan, people are still going to go to Foot Locker. And the one good thing about shoes, and where shoes can kind of leverage that, is people still like to try a shoe on.
They do, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because you never know what size you are.
Yeah, except me, I always just order 11.5, 11 and a half. If it doesn't fit right, I just wear like a thicker size. I just don't care. I don't return things ever.
I don't either.
Yeah, I'm not part of that problem.
That's the reason why I don't buy
either.
shoes online.
Yeah, because it's such a hassle.
Yeah. Like I just won't even though like they make like all you have to do is bring it back to the post office. I'm like, that's just too much. That is just too much.
I know.
For the kind of purchases.
Oh, go ahead. So Jordan's is a $1 billion brand?
$1 billion brand now. Yeah.
I'm wearing.
The thing about
wearing my Jordans.
Nice.
Oh, you are.
The Jordan brand.
So the Jordan ones.
I didn't know you were such a sneakerhead.
Not too much. I was 10 years old when these first came out.
Yeah, me too.
I always wanted a pair. My parents would never buy me.
I was in 5th grade, and they had Spike Lee directed the commercials for the original ones.
Yeah. So about 3 years ago, I decided I was going to just go out and buy a pair.
And they were like $130, $140 at Foot Locker. I remember in the Massachusetts area, and in the 80s money, that's like $250. So pretty expensive.
And now they're only $90 to $120.
That's
right?
not bad. Is that
they really haven't the retail price hasn't.
There's
gone
just
up.
some things about like Michael Jordan was just always cool. Like he just had
he just dominated.
Natural swagger, but he was like he was cool. Like LeBron, I think is an overall better player. I would make that argument.
Wow,
he's not.
He's
not as cool.
I don't know. We get him.
Applause.
None of that for you. All right. Here's where Chad loves to go on a date. Darden Restaurants. The Darden family of restaurants features some of the most recognizable and successful brands in full-service dining. They got the Olive Garden. They got the Longhorn Steakhouse, where you like to wear a nice three-piece suit to.
Well, I think it's actually his turn, right?
Cheddar Scratch Kitchen, the Yard House, the Capitol Grill, Season 52, Bahamas Breeze, and Eddie's. $1.07 earnings per share.
Under.
All right.
Oh, what do I do? I'm going to say under.
Why did you? You should have differentiated yourself. They went over. $1.12. All right. Over the last 4 quarters, the company had surpassed. They've done well because they've surpassed consensus EPS 4 times. Those unlimited breadsticks.
I know.
Yeah, the all-you-can-eat
potential.
buffet was such a disaster. I just had to think it was under.
But it's a weird space because the stock market doesn't always react to it. Maybe you can tell us why. Because they even though they beat earnings per share, everyone is like they're the underdog, right? I guess they beat it 4 times. They underperformed in the market, so the stock isn't reacting to it. It says the problem stems from revenue, though. So they had $2.056 billion in revenue, is just below analyst estimates of 2.060. So how come those don't match up, though? Why don't the earnings per share estimate match up with the revenue, and how can you beat it but the other one be off?
So basically, they've all for the last few years, those big restaurant groups have had flat sales.
Yeah.
So they're not really growing. They're actually contracting a little bit, and they're trying to do whatever it takes to expand sales again.
With shifting demographics.
Demographics. So that's not really a good story. It's not a great growth story, but financial engineering and cutting costs and just increasing efficiencies, it gets them gets them over their earnings per share estimates, and the stock rallies a little bit, but it's really not a great. I won't say it's not a great area to be in, but it's not a growth story.
Well, if you notice, I listed more than half a dozen restaurants there. Is there a reason why a lot of these things you mentioned, restaurant groups, they sort of act like almost stock portfolios, but for restaurants? Is that to mitigate risk? And if so, does that kind of limit the capital you can make because you're kind of hedging?
Yeah, you're kind of hedging. You are what's it called? I can't even remember the name of it. You're basically eliminating same store sales because you have maybe 3 restaurants on the same block.
Oh, like cluster building, like
cluster,
mattress, what is it? The mattress Sleepies.
Yeah, Sleepies.
Mattress
cannibalizing. That's it. Cannibalizing your own cells. I can't believe I can't remember that.
Yeah,
cannibalizing your own.
I
did, I guess so. But there's only so many restaurants you can build.
Yeah.
There's just so many restaurants you can build and keep attracting younger people.
I hate chain restaurants too. I'm not a fan.
I do too.
They're
And a lot of their demographics are really getting up in the years.
Yeah.
Like Chad's age.
Right. No, I am not a boomer. Those boomers, okay, boomers,
Yeah.
right?
Gen X just doesn't exist. They was just like
I know,
erased
everybody
off the map.
looks over us, Gen
All right.
Xers.
This one's
You're a Gen Xer.
All right.
I am, yes.
Here's an interesting story. Rite Aid, 3 cents.
3 cents?
Yeah.
I think it's your turn.
They've been struggling for a long time.
3 cents a share is pretty.
Yeah, pretty struggling.
Yeah, I know.
It's like penny stock action.
Oh boy.
It's at least a negative. Some of these tech companies you're starting to see negative like returns.
Well,
and it's
yeah.
like, yeah.
Okay, I'll take a risk here. Over.
Okay.
I'll go under, even though it's tough to say.
Yeah, geez.
Wow.
It was
going to be
over.
under 3 cents.
It was
right?
over 54 cents. They've
really?
massively rebounded. So shares of the retail brand are up 42.5%, and we're nearing $12 as of press time. The stock is on pace for its largest surge since October 2015, when it rose 42.6%. But guess that in December of 2015, the stock was worth $177.60. This year, it hit as low as $5.04. Right now, it's $14.50. So if you did buy, though, I think you could. Do you think you can go long on a little Rite Aid stock now? We're not giving stock advice. It's not financial advice. But
I would have liked it better at $5 than $14.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You know what? I don't really know too much. It's been forever since I've even been in a Rite Aid.
Yeah.
So I don't.
They're more in the Northeast. They're still up there.
Yeah. So I don't know what
We
their
have a Rite
struggles
Aid
have
here
been.
in Chattanooga.
Oh, okay.
Do we?
Yeah, we have a couple.
They're always a little outdated. They're always a little bit behind like the CVS's and the
Yeah, they are,
Walgreens
yeah.
of the world.
But for some reason, I liked them for that very nostalgic factor.
Yeah.
I could never find anything.
Get like a soda fountain, like a 5 and dime. Like the
The
Woolworth.
smell.
Yeah.
It's
Reminds you of
like
your childhood during
Yeah.
Are you
the
sure you're
roaring,
not a boomer?
the roaring 20s.
where I would get, Jolly Ranchers.
Oh.
Yeah.
You ever shoplift? Oh, yeah. You said you took some wacky packs. You ever shoplift? You ever get busted for shoplifting?
Oh, no.
Oh.
No.
I did when I was 10. I stole like a fake finger you could put.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, from the store called The Crest in Needham, Massachusetts. It's now a bank. They're
It was
out
a
of business.
finger?
That's why I'm revealing this
Oh, yeah.
information. One time, when
Statute
my
of
sister was a kid, she stole some chiclets from the grocery store, and in Weymouth, Massachusetts. And my mom told her that the police were looking for her, and like until she was like an adult, she still thought like she was wanted.
You know what we did do that wasn't good was we would reach up into those like machines.
Oh, yeah.
And get football helmets out of them.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
like
yeah.
kind of break the case so you could get the football helmet out.
Yeah. Well, that's theft.
We did do that.
That is definitely theft.
I'm admitting to it.
Yeah, I mean, petty.
I forgot about this
because I
football
wanted the
helmet.
whole collection, and I
Yeah.
couldn't. The Oakland Raiders kept eluding me.
All right. Now, you guys did, before you kick out, you guys did a bunch of great quarter guys recently. You guys have just
We did.
pumping those out like crazy.
I think we're on episode 8.
You have a special holiday one coming out, I believe, Monday, right?
Monday, yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
so guys, stay
So-
tuned
so-
for
And we're going to go over AutoZone.
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 Step in the zone.
Get in the
Go
zone.
through kind of their earnings results, the whole space between them and O'Reilly's and Advanced, and kind of dive into their supply chain and their transportation.
That's the thing these guys do. So if you haven't checked out their show yet, Great Quarter Guys.
Really good show.
Fastest rising show on the Freightcast network. So you can subscribe to Freightcast. You get all of our shows, including this one, but you'd also get his. You get Freightonomics. Anthony was in here. All the shows within the network, but you could also just subscribe to Great Quarter Guys. Again, it's all free. It's all on Apple Podcasts. But now it's a TV show. You guys, I think this is your 3rd episode. So it's also
Yes.
a 3rd episode that's been a video show also, like this.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you go-
in the booth right here.
So just like this, you can go and get the FreightWaves TV app, or you can go on our YouTube, FreightWaves YouTube, FreightWaves LinkedIn, Facebook. You can watch along during that time. You guys are usually live at
2:00
on
Mondays.
Mondays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 2:00 on Mondays.
And
Well,
this
it's
one,
great
because
to
of the
have you
holiday
in
week,
the
it is a pre-record.
It is.
Yeah, so
It is
if
this
you
week.
post comments, they won't reply. But when they do go live, do post comments like they do. You guys are pretty interactive with your people
Oh,
too,
definitely.
right?
Yep,
Okay.
definitely.
Good stuff. Thanks
You
for
bet.
joining us, Kevin.
Thanks,
you, guys.
Merry Christmas, man. Happy
It was
holidays.
great to be in the
Happy
zone
holidays.
with you.
You going back to Oklahoma?
I am, yeah.
All right.
Do you think I psyched him out when I said that playing him is like going against the wall?
Yeah, you kind of jinxed him a little bit.
I think I did.
Do we have where's Phil Moody?
Phil and Moody.
Phil Moody to the booth.
Hey,
Phil
what's up?
Moody.
Moving with Moody.
Phil.
Moody.
All right, Phil. You know why you're here though? It's time to get to work, Chad.
You gotta get that job.
It's time to get that money.
Gotta get that job.
Time to get to work, Chad.
Gotta get that job.
Gotta get that money.
Gotta get that job.
Boom. I think this is the first time you've been on as a chief of staff.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Yeah, but you like big timed us once you got that promotion.
Well, I'm more of a behind the camera kind of guy, you know.
Well, I doubt that.
He's a stage
You've
performer.
got the face
Yeah,
for
I
radio.
know.
You're a stage performer, right? You play keyboards.
I do.
What is the keyboard to get this holiday season?
I'm always a Yamaha or Rhodes guy.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with those.
But you have a
Stay away
Nord
from the
lead too, right?
Casios. I got a Nord too.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're looking for, like a pure piano, more of a synthesizer, organ sound.
What do you think about Moogs?
I've yet to play a Moog.
Oh.
They look neat.
I want to get a Moog.
Yeah.
American made, little overpriced, but yeah. I just got a Deluge.
A Deluge?
Deluge. They're made in New Zealand, little boutique.
Yeah.
Synth place. Very affordable
imported.
synth. Really cool. That's right.
Imported fine keyboards.
The problem with the Nords and the Moogs though is that you have to be going for a specific sound because they're not polyphonic. You're kind of stuck into whatever sound there is. But if you like layer them up with you got the Kurzweil underneath.
See, I'm such a purist though. Like
Yeah.
I like a classic piano sound.
Oh yeah.
You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. I like the actual like strings. You ever play a grand piano?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I've got one at home. Well,
Yeah.
my parents' home.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So, Phil, we put FreightWaves.careers. You guys out there, this isn't just FreightWaves jobs, but 3.5% unemployment. But there's also been a bunch of shutdowns. There's Celadon. We talked about this company that got a nuclear verdict. Those people are probably going to be on the streets. GDS, you know. Navistar has a $1.9 billion judgment coming against him. But, like, let's say, so 3.5% unemployment. A lot of companies have done their budgets. They've made some cuts. So some people may be on the streets now looking for jobs. But that also means that there's a ton of companies that say, okay, we freed up X amount of money to hire people.
Mm-hmm.
Good market to do it. A lot of people, especially in this business, they stay in the same job for 10 years, 15 years, you know, making that 1.5% incremental raise. You know, you're undervaluing yourself in the market. So go out there, go get that money.
Get them jobs.
Go to FreightWaves.careers, and what are they going to find when they go there?
So they've got, over the last 2 weeks, obviously we threw this up really quick. We've been bouncing around the idea for the last few months. And, you know, we get the news about Celadon, over 3,000 people suddenly overnight without their jobs. So Craig gives us the directive at 8 a.m. Monday morning to build this, and we have it up by the end of the day. I mean, everybody just
And it was
stop what you're doing.
populated immediately.
Immediately. I think we had about almost 500 jobs posted in the first 24 hours.
Do you know what the status is right now? How many?
Right now, we're at over 1,300 jobs.
Wow.
We have almost 500 unique employers listed.
Wow.
And we've had over 200 applications submitted. So it's
it's happening.
nonstop. And it's a free job board, right? So
Yeah.
anybody can go in there and post jobs. You can apply for free. They have everything from dispatchers and drivers to executive level positions at trucking companies. So
I'm glad we did this because, like, the first story I covered here was the Falcon story. And a lot of when these things happen, trucking is such a unique and great place in that people always, and I know because there's shortages and they want recruiters and stuff, but people always run to the aid and it might be offering rides without any ulterior motive to a bunch of recruiters coming out of the woodwork. But when we did Falcon, a bunch of people reached out to me on LinkedIn and they're like, can you tell people about this job, that job, this job? It becomes overwhelming. So now we have a job where we have one place to direct the people to and one place to direct the companies to. Free board, just go on there. It's a FreightWaves public service.
Exactly.
It's like we can do a little something about it and not just report on it.
Exactly. I mean, we have a platform here at FreightWaves. We have a responsibility. To
we
do
got a
something in these
microphone.
circumstances.
We'll turn that volume up.
If you don't do something like this in these trying times, I mean, it's right before Christmas, and over 3,000 people find out overnight they have no health insurance, they have no family income. We'd be remiss not to try and do something.
And even moving forward, even in good times, this is a job board is a chance for opportunity. So there's no better time to look for a new job than when you have a job.
That's right.
That's even better than when you lose the job. When you have a job, let's say you've been sitting there, you've been doing entries for 10 years straight, getting arthritis, tabbing through the keys, doing those 3461s, booking freight. You're done. Yeah, you just got to go somewhere else. You need like something new. Even if you're doing the same job, you just need a different logo on you. You want to get your value.
That lane from Dallas to Wisconsin so many times in a week.
Now you want to do Seattle to LA.
Yeah, change it up.
Just change it up a little bit. Go on the board though. See what the market's paying now. It's probably paying better than when you got your job.
It's a good time to go looking for jobs. It really is. I mean, like you said, the economy's doing great. We it might be slowing down a little bit, but there's low unemployment.
Yeah.
This is the time to go see, maybe I could get a better job out there, pays a little bit more, maybe better benefits.
Maybe.
You never know until you look.
Yeah, your next great adventure starts today. That's FreightWaves.careers.
That's right.
Phil, anything else? What do we got to look forward to? Any what's going on in 2020?
In 2020, we're gonna, we got a big year ahead of us.
Yeah.
I can't tell you everything though. We
No.
gotta keep some cards
teaser.
playing close to the chest.
Yeah. There's going to be an exciting air cargo thing going on. There'll be events leading up to.
We're increasingly going global, multimodal. We got our first event in Toronto.
Yeah, I'm excited about
That's our
that.
first international event next September.
That means a lot of our FreightWavers have to get our passports renewed or up to date.
Speaking of FreightWaves Passport, have y'all talked about FreightWaves Passport?
Tell us about it.
FreightWaves Passport is your guide to continuing education. So
that sounds like that's
our
a good
slogan.
pitch. That's the beginning. Yeah, it's a great value. You want to give them an overview of?
It's something we've just rolled out recently. We're really excited about it. We're going to have in-depth research from the likes of John Paul and Kevin Hill's team, who was just in here.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll get access to some really deep analytics of the industry. You'll also get, for each passport, you get 2 tickets to our events each year. So one to FreightWaves Live Spring and one to FreightWaves Live in the fall. That's a free ticket with your passport membership. And then we're just going to keep growing from there, coming up with new ideas. So who knows where we'll be in 6 months, like anything else here at FreightWaves.
Yeah. Don't miss the event.
Stay hardworking.
Yeah.
Phil, what are you doing for the holidays, brother?
Man, I'm heading up to Nashville next week.
Music City.
See the family.
Yeah.
And then for New Year's, I'm going to head up to New York City, baby.
Did you grow up in Nashville?
I did not. I actually grew up in Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh, yeah. I think you've told me that before.
Yeah.
And I was wondering,
you're the Yankee, and I'm the
I know.
deep redneck Southerner.
I don't see, I don't really think that way. It's only I remember when the first time I'd ever heard someone call me a Yankee was when we were vacationing in South Carolina. And because up north, we don't really have a complex about I guess because we won that war. So we don't have the complex that maybe some Southerners
inferiority complex.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Unfortunately, a lot of Southerners still haven't gotten over that.
Yeah.
I wasn't alive at the time, so I don't really.
It's time.
Some think that the South will rise again.
Yeah.
Not I.
I actually had high school teachers drill that into us in high school.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. It's
Indoctrine.
going to happen.
Okay.
Some people say, well, it was really about states' rights, but states' rights to do what?
All right. Let's not go down this pathway. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, and places
Yeah.
like Tennessee actually were divided within themselves.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
yeah.
All right.
Little history lesson.
Well, Phil.
Phil, you got any gigs, man?
Not until February.
Okay.
I'll be jamming around in my apartment though, so come on in.
All right, dude.
Sounds good, man.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank y'all for
What are
having
you
me.
drinking there, by the way?
A little black tea.
Oh, good. Yeah, good on the throat. You had to make sure you were smooth when you came in here.
Yeah.
All right.
Keep the energy up.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Thanks,
Hey, y'all
Phil.
have a great holiday.
Great to
You
have
as
you,
well.
buddy.
Me on.
All right. So supposedly now we can call this guy about the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse. So it said, we will try one more time to get in touch with our man on the beat, our man on the street, Darren Hansen. See if this is the right number.
Wow.
All right, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. I know. Just bear with me here. Maybe that was the wrong number, so I'm going to try it one more time. 92. All right, let me not read it out loud.
The Passport program, by the way, you can find it on FreightWaves.com/passport. And so some really good value there. Check it out.
Thank you for calling J.J. Keller and Associates. This call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance. If you know your party's extension, press 1 and then enter the extension number. Please enter your party's extension number now.
It's really happening, guys.
Making for some great radio.
All right, let's see here. Talk about that Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse with Darren Hansen from J.J. Keller.
J.J. Keller, this is Darren.
Hey, Darren. We've been trying to get in touch with you.
We broke through.
We got through the line.
Yeah, finally worked. I don't know what's going on here. I think Friday the 13th caught up with me.
Oh,
It's all good, man.
today's the 20th, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well,
You're a
nothing
week
went wrong
late.
last
Oh,
week, so-
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I get it now. The Spectre, the ghost of
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. So
Right.
you're a senior transport safety editor with J.J. Keller?
Right. Yep. I've been here 23 years. That's what makes me senior.
Oh, wow. That's some tenure.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Darren, you can tell everybody what the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse is. Is it a sweepstake or?
Yeah, I thought you got a big check if you won.
What's going on? What is it, and what's it supposed to accomplish?
Yeah, sure. Well, not too many people are going to be winning anything from it other than just keeping drivers off the road if they've been using drugs or alcohol, which is certainly a win for some.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the idea, is that it's going to keep drivers off the road. It's keep them from, especially from being able to hide any drug or alcohol violations that they've had from other employers. So, and this is only for CDL truck drivers operating, truck and bus drivers who are subject to DOT testing. Yeah, it's going to basically prevent them from driving once they've had a violation, and even that would continue to be the case even if they switch employers or get a new license, or try to hide that violation somehow and keep driving.
Hey, we're running up on the deadline, right, of January 6th. So what do drivers need to do beforehand?
Yeah, so drivers, maybe nothing other than just learning about it, and employers have to basically let them know what's going to be reported about them into the clearinghouse should they ever have a violation. We're recommending that they register for the clearinghouse, and they may need to eventually, but it's not a requirement. If you don't have any violations and if you don't seek other employment, you could get by without registering. But you may want to register. One reason for that would be that you can give the DOT your email address, because otherwise they're going to be relying on U.S. mail to contact you if there's anything that shows up in the clearinghouse. So that could take a number of days, and in that time, your company might pull you off the road if you had a violation pop up in there. So,
well, if you're an owner-operator, you could be out on the road. You're not going to get this mail it could be a long time before you get to your mailbox.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I still talk to people who they say their drivers don't even have computers. They don't get to a computer for a week or two at a time, and so that could be a problem. So that'd be a good reason to register, is just to give them some good contact information where they can reach you if anything pops up in there.
Well, with unemployment as low as it is, with the driver shortage for carriers such as it seems to be, and to them, I've even been hearing that like standards are getting looser for hiring. Of course, it is hard to find a qualified driver, but do carriers, do they need to update their drug and alcohol policies? And obviously, I think they should be training their drivers as well, right?
Yeah, just like I said, let drivers know, what's going to be reported into the clearinghouse, kind of how it works. Maybe encourage them to register for it as soon as they can. Some companies are bringing all their drivers in and having them register, when they do their safety meeting or something. And then as far as a policy, if the company, it depends on what the policy looks like at a company, but they should definitely review it and see if it needs updating. And then the required educational materials that you have to give drivers, that has to be updated as well. And that would especially be the case for anyone hired after January 6th. You've got to give them that new educational information.
What's considered a violation?
Well, it's quite a few things. So it's really anything that violates Part 382 in the regulations, which would be, drug use, alcohol use within 4 hours of going on duty or during while you're working during the day, drinking alcohol after an accident before you get your post-accident test done. Also, even a DUI in a commercial vehicle would get reported into the clearinghouse even before you're convicted, or even if it doesn't result in conviction. So basically anything that would violate the DOT testing rules would get in there.
And how, we've been covering for a good while the controversial hair testing policy. What's the latest on hair testing? It's obviously a lot more accurate. Is that the way that it would be conducted, or is it still through urine?
Yeah, urine is the way they're going for now. Definitely things happening with hair testing and saliva testing. Saliva testing for drugs are both kind of in the pipeline. And right now, I think the hair testing standards are sitting at the White House Office of Management and Budget, waiting for approval. They've been there for a long time. I'm not sure what the holdup is there, but it hit a snag for a while. But that looks like it will eventually get through and find its way into the DOT testing rules. It's going to take a while yet, but I think that'll eventually happen.
We've heard some crazy numbers on how many drivers could be affected and pulled off the road by this. Do you think those are exaggerated or inflated? Because we were hearing 100,000 according to one study, and that seems like quite a swath.
Yeah, that does seem pretty high. Even just looking at estimates of how many drivers are currently, have drugs in their system, the estimates vary quite wildly from, I've seen, like 0.5% all the way up to 9%. The DOT their numbers show about 1% or just under 1%. And then, a lot of those drivers still won't be affected by this depending on the timing of it, but so I think there have been some inflated numbers out there, but it definitely is going to affect a chunk of drivers.
So the numbers that you're giving, though, it seems like this is not really going to, in reality, in application, it's not going to have a massive effect on the driver pool or on capacity.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's really going to impact those who are trying to hide a violation and, maybe jumping from employer to employer. So those folks would be impacted, and what they'd have to do is go through treatment and finish their treatment program in order to get back to driving. And so they can certainly get back to driving. It's just a matter of catching them and getting them out of the system for a while and getting them treatment.
My understanding is that it might be a little bit more apocalyptic with these estimates if it were hair testing, because it just doesn't miss.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And that's where I've seen that like 9% figure, like they, pretty high number of drivers they pass the urine test, but they do fail the hair test when it's done as a non-DOT test, obviously. And so, I think that would, so eventually when we do get hair testing, this may have a larger impact.
You mentioned that they'd have to go, so is rehab a component of this, and who pays for that? Does the carrier have to pay for that? Does the driver have to pay out of pocket? What kind of support system is there for violators?
Yeah, and I should say that there has been no change to the testing rules and the rehab rules, so nothing along those with those things has changed. But basically, the process is that once you fail a test, you are basically the company has to give you a list of SAPs, substance abuse professionals, and then they leave it up to you, or they can leave it up to you to go through treatment, whatever treatment plan is recommended, and then you'd have to pass a return to duty test before you can go back to driving. And some companies are willing to keep drivers on and pay for that. Others just say, here's a list of people you can see, and see you later. So it can be across the board.
Well, Darren, it's been great talking with you. Thanks for your specialization. If they want to get in touch with you, if they have further questions,
continue the conversation.
What is the best way?
Yeah, I'd say go to jjkeller.com, and we've got a variety of ways to contact us there. There's phone numbers, social media, different ways to get in touch with us.
Well, thank you. This is an important issue. I'm glad we were able to pull you up, and have a happy holidays. Take it easy.
Thanks, Darren.
Same to you guys. Thanks.
Bye. Well, that was nice. I'm glad we got through to him, because a big, important topic. A lot of people affected by drug and alcohol. It's a little disappointing that there isn't a supported rehab component. I'm not going to get on my soapbox about that, but it seems like that should be. Hopefully, the 2020s take mental health and addiction into greater consideration.
I agree. Yes.
All right, man. Now it's time to hear back from you guys, the listeners, the readers of FreightWaves.com. So post your comments now. We're also going to read comments from FreightWaves.com.
Comment section rodeo.
All right, man. All right. Number one here. This is from the article. New Jersey's owner-operator law in limbo for now, but risk remains. This is about the New Jersey bill that would block trucking and other industries from using independent contractors. It stalled out with the state legislature, not scheduled to take up vote on the issue, though, through its current session. And here's George. He said, LOL, who gives a crap about New Jersey or California? I suggest drivers stay out 100%. These idiots deserve the government they voted for. It's up to the citizens to vote out the morons or pay the consequences. High-wee coats for everything that's brought in. I'm sure the unions are 100% behind this. What does that even mean? High-wee coats.
I don't know.
High-wee coats!
Stephen Webster says about the same article, if this law don't go through, something else has to happen in the new year. I was in New York City shelter a month ago and also talked to some port truck leased ops from New Jersey, and these drivers have no protection when they get hurt or sick or cheated by bad trucking companies. The cost to the taxpayer is too high, and these drivers' families.
Yeah, what do you think about that one?
I think that, he's got a point.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's New Jersey's version. I think it's a little bit similar to AB5.
Yep.
Some people want to see it come into place. They don't like the independent contractor model, where other people see it as an apocalypse. It's funny seeing the two takes, though, because it seems like the West Coast take is like, it sees almost AB5 as this terrible thing, but then the Northeast drivers are like, it's going to get rid of, it seems there's like a foreign component. They think there's a lot of foreign drivers illegally being used to move freight that's really cutting into their market prices.
Yeah, or he'll just jump in and fill the role as not as qualified as of a driver.
Emily Zink says, hi, guys. Hi, Emily. How are you? All right, so Celadon shutdown was a product of two freight recessions. Recessions. This is from Zach Strickland, wrote this, the Sultan of Sonar. And it is Paul Wienick. He writes, how about all the fraud and corruption they had in their upper management? They had a man named Danny Williams who increased the number of vehicles for the owner-operator lease program 15 times. What? It was in under 18 months? These trucks were acquired from other companies, but were suck junk. None would lease them. Others in senior management helped hide these dead assets from investors and overstated their values on the accounting records. Mr. Williams was convicted for this several months back. This was when all the upper-level corruption started to be exposed. Competition didn't kill Celadon. Incompetence and corruption did. Hey, you know what? I think we all agree that corruption was a big point, but one of the things that I think Zach was pointing out was that beyond corruption, there was a bunch of market conditions that helped also KO them.
Yeah, he pointed out, we had him on, I think Monday, talking about the volatility in those recessions, where if you have a big year and then you go into a leaner year, and that is not as good, difficult operating conditions. Mike says, we need some standards in this industry. The first thing that can be done is to stop handing out operating authority to everyone and his brother. Sucking air through one's pinhole is not a standard. We can also start by enforcing these contract laws. These outfits pop up every day, mainly ran from places like Bosnia, Macedonia, Russia, India, etc. They obtain authority, run the entire show from overseas via the internet, and lay all of the expenses on the driver via 1099, and you all wonder why the freight is so cheap.
Yeah.
These folks can afford to haul it as they have no skin in the game. As far as Celadon, why was the company fined $42 or so million? Why not arrest the perps and fine them? The company, from the guy cleaning the toilets to the drivers or dispatch, had nothing to do with these individuals cooking the books. So instead of going after the real bad guys and nailing them to the cross, the entire company is punished and eventually run out of business. And you cannot tell me these fines and attorney fees were not a huge part of their demise. I could keep going, but my blood pressure is boiling. Rant off.
The last real trucker, he writes, Mike, you are my long-lost brother. You hit it on the head about those little crap butt companies in Illinois that popped up. I call them Volvo Vinny, Illinois idiots. And yes, they are the reason for rates going down, because the stupid butt brokers figured out they will run freight for 64 CPM. Maybe after Tuesday and that final mandate kicks in with the ELD, we'll see these crap butt places go away, and maybe that freight will pick up, Mike.
Okay. Oh, Stephen Webster says, if there was a shortage of trucks and truck drivers, rates would not be low. A company I know is bringing their trucks back from the U.S. empty almost 40% of the time, because they will come back empty before taking a return load at less than $1.45 U.S. or $1.91 CD per mile. Yet, certain shippers complain about a shortage of reefers. The only way rates will go up is when we lower the supply of truck capacity.
Here's one.
This is demand.
Yeah. Here's from the article, The Global Trans Mafia. Where are they now? And then there was a little turf war going on in the comments section.
Oh, yeah.
There is one commentator who comments quite often on FreightWaves.com, writing very long posts multiple times. And a few people, I guess, took umbrage with him. One of them was Dave, and he wrote, Noble one, please stop with the novel-sized post. Just post your comment or opinion briefly. It's bad manners to post messages the size of the Bible, in my very humble opinion.
And Noble one got a response, and he said, Dave, who are you to dictate the amount of words I can write?
Dave.
Where does it state that to write X amount of words in a comment is unethical? What does a religious storybook have anything to do with the length of my
Wait, can
comments?
you read this in your professor voice?
Yes. Let's go. Nobody forces nor obligates you to read my comments. Therefore, I will respectfully decline your unethical attempt to dictate the amount of words I may use in a comment. I thank you for your support in respecting everyone's liberty to express themselves and not to judge the length of the comment, but rather by its content. Have a great day, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, he's always sharing his humble opinion with with everybody. All right.
IMH show.
Yeah, so the very time show, this one's gone long, but there's one story, and this is sort of a public service announcement for parents. This one caught our eye.
To conclude our double album
of Freight. This is one for you guys to take home with you when you're unwrapping your boxes. You know, this is like the new razor blades in the candy.
Wow.
This is like that Saturday Night Live sketch where the dangerous toys, and one of them was a bag of glass. This was a CNN report on Amazon fake kids products that could be putting your child's life in danger, Chad.
Wow.
This was an investigative report by CNN has revealed the troubling reality and growing problem of counterfeit products sold through Amazon. How many times have I beat that drum before? I'm just so bitter about those fake Ray-Bans I got on Prime Day. Many products have been tested and represent real safety threats to consumers. A popular baby car seat made by Donna, which purchased for $200 less than the original.
It's Duna.
Duna?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like how they say my name in Boston.
It's Duna.
All right. Made by Duna was purchased for $200 less than the original, and then tested, and then tested at the University of Michigan and compared to the original. The counterfeit smashed into pieces in a 30-mile-per-hour crash test, which failed to meet U.S. regulation standards.
Thank goodness.
Numerous business owners reported that their products were being targeted by counterfeiters listing themselves on Amazon as third-party sellers. The businesses said Amazon put the responsibility on them to report suspicious listings, and that this often amounts to a game of whack-a-mole in which a new listing appeared almost as soon as flagged ones were taken down. And man, I have definitely seen this. You'll see I remember I was looking for like a dustbuster for my wife.
Yeah.
And some of the highest rated ones were these weird knockoff Chinese ones you'd never heard of, and you'd be like, how does this have 11,000 views? I mean, 11,000 reviews.
Right.
Well, it turns out there's a lot of Facebook groups that they go in there and they offer you like a free product if you write a review.
Right.
And you have to submit the review and you get a refund.
I know. There's a lot of emerging issues around this. Counterfeiting is just one of them. Amazon is, I think it's whack-a-mole for them. They're not helping these retailers enough, the ones making the original product and having to play the whack-a-mole game. The commercial manager of Duna, Miad Raviv, says the company has found more than 40 Amazon listings this year that contained fake versions of its products or versions that infringed on its intellectual property. Duna flags the listings, reports them to Amazon, which then removes them. But according to Raviv and the other business owners that CNN, who broke the story, spoke with, this process means listings are often online for several, even days, leading to windows of opportunity when consumers could buy the potentially dangerous or counterfeit product. So the issue of counterfeiting is a major problem in many industries. It is a reality on all e-commerce sites. But Amazon's market dominance makes it a significant target, and critics say that it can and should be doing more with its great technology to fight the problem.
This has been a problem ever since they opened their doors to these third-party sellers. It allows for a lot of commingling, and when SKUs get commingled, the fakes end up with the goods. So whoever that picker is at the Amazon warehouse, they may not know because a lot of these things look very close.
Oh,
it takes a crash test.
Virtually identical.
Yeah.
There are little ways you can read the scripting. Sometimes the scripting has punctuation errors in it or isn't written. There are little signs. Of course, I think one of the main ones is if if one's $300 and then here's one for $100. It's the knockoff price. But that can be hard because what if you don't know in the first place what the price was? If you didn't know that a Duna was $300 and you start searching, you're like, wow.
But think of how you interact with Amazon. You go in there and you search baby seat, car seat, right? And then you're going to look at the reviews and what seems most popular. And then you're going to go, oh, it's the Duna. That looks really good. And oh, here's a great deal on one. And you don't have your own crash testing until you actually get in a crash. And with your kid, this is...
Yeah, that's why this is...
It's sickening.
It's a hazard. It's definitely
criminal.
criminal.
With that, and cribs, too. Kids can get stuck, caught in cribs, things like that. So there's a lot of products here that are counterfeit the Ray-Bans. That's fine, all right? Maybe I'll get a UV sunlight.
But you know what else isn't okay? It's there's also this... as you pointed me to this show on supply chain stuff where they're counterfeiting makeup and goods.
Oh, Broken on Netflix.
And you're putting the stuff on your face. You have no idea what you're putting on your face.
Yeah.
You think you've got the real thing, and you don't. It's a criminal activity. It's a growing thing. I think it's more profitable. I think one of the strategies here of the criminally minded is that drugs only appeal to about 10% of the overall population, whereas if you counterfeit any given good, you have virtually the entire population.
Well, and dude, these people, like, when they're doing the counterfeiting, they'll cut your ingredients. Then, like the Kylie Jenner lip balm, they were using super glue. Literally using super glue. And if you've ever got super glue on your finger, you don't even have to stick
it's scary.
It's really corrosive and it hurts, man. You rip off a layer of skin with that stuff.
Yep.
Getting on your face, that's disgusting. But here's the thing too. We were talking about counterfeiting on Port Report, and the top 3 counterfeited things were makeup, supplements, and pharmaceuticals.
I know.
All things
you're putting that in your body or on your body.
And car seats is kind of scary stuff. So what do you do though? Do you buy the car seat? You go to do you actually go to Target and buy the car seat from there to avoid that?
I don't know. I don't know what Amazon is doing about this developing situation.
Well, what do you do? If you had to get a car seat, would you be like, you know what? I think I might just go to Target and get it to make sure it's legit.
I'd go boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground.
I do that with supplements now. After I heard that they were so counterfeited, I'm like, there is no way I'm buying these online anymore.
It gets hard to know.
Yeah.
But even then, I think that they're not FDA approved. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's unregulated industry. Crazy, but true.
All right. Before we pull out of the station, I'm going to give you one trivia question, right?
Oh.
Santa Claus, right? If Santa Claus was real, was a logistics company, right? How many truckloads do you think it would take to carry all of the toys he has to give to 600 million children globally who are either Christian or secular celebrators?
10 billion.
No, 500,000.
Oh.
And it would, if you took all the toys, it would fill up 5,000 Boeings. But here's the thing. Here's a shocker. And we talked about this on Port Report yesterday. Go listen to that one on Freightcast, or just look up Port Report, or watch it on FreightWaves TV. Download the app. Free Christmas gift. But if you took all of the returns are becoming a big problem. You cover that on Off the Supply Chain, the show that is on here. I believe I won that episode. I had the chain, the reverse logistics one. If you took, so all of the toys that children are eating, all of them would fit in 5,000 planes. All of the returns, though, that are going to happen a year would take 5,600 planes.
Because they don't repackage them as well?
Just all of the junk. That's what it would be. I'm just saying, like, more. So think of all the toys that kids are going to get for Christmas, all the things they're going to buy. And then think of how many returns go out there. So a big problem, man. Big problem out there in the world.
Big problem. You heard it here.
Not to give you guys a bad Christmas or have a sobering thing or anything like that.
But to be a more informed consumer.
Yeah, absolutely. And just be mindful of that, especially if you have young kids. I do. So, like, that's one of the reasons we thought it was important to talk about that story. A couple plugs. So this is What the Truck. Thank you guys for listening. You can subscribe to us on Freightcast. Look that up on wherever you get your podcasts, or simply do What the Truck. You can still listen to us there.
Yeah.
52nd ranked. Maybe we'll be 50th by the time this one's over.
Yeah, thanks for the
Maybe
support.
Maybe we'll have to go 3 hours to get that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the support. Thank you for everyone who's left reviews on iTunes and all of those things, for sharing this with a friend. Anyone watching the video has commented. Share this out. Anyone who's told anybody.
Thank you.
It's been an amazing year. We will be back on the 30th.
That's right.
With a wrap-up show. We'll, I don't know. We'll talk about the best of the year, and we'll do kind of a year-end show. And
bring out the year, bring in the leave the old behind.
It'll be a big party.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Party. Just like that ugly sweater party last night.
Yeah,
that was really a good time at Songbirds, getting to check out all those historic basses and guitars.
Yeah, go down there if you've never been to Songbirds. You come to Chattanooga, check it out. It's a really cool little guitar museum. If you want to check us out, continue the conversation, you can find him at Chad Prevost. You can find me at Timothy Dooner. That is DOONER. Go to FreightWaves.com, careers. If you need a job, you need a new job, you have a friend who needs a job, you want to get into a logistics career, it's not that hard.
It's not Duna?
Duna.
Like with an A?
It's with an ER.
Okay.
It's with an ER, buddy. All right, let's hit the closing bell here. On here. Little cowbell for everyone to tune in today. Little cowbell for Christmas, man. Little cowbell for the holidays.
Shout out to Kosovo.
Little cowbell for double albums of Freight when you are listening to What the Truck. Man, little cowbell for little kids. They're going to be so excited when they open their Christmas gifts this year.
Jimi Hendrix, Electric Ladyland. That's a good double
little cowbell for that. Little cowbell for the band Dangerous Toys, man.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road.
Little cowbell
great
for White Lion, Rise Again, Little Fighter. Hey, Hey, tune into
Dangerous toy.
FreightWaves Radio tomorrow, Sirius XM channel 146.3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Merry Christmas!
See you there.